Maradona, Carmen, aiutici tu.
And benvenuti, fellas and bellas all over the world. Welcome to the Napoli Rant. I am Raff Bizzarro, joined by my co-host, the Becca Raff Rispo.
What is up, Raff Bizzarro? Come stai oggi?
Tutto posto, Raff. Welcome to you and all of our listeners. Let's get this rant on the road as Italia saluta la capolista ancora after Napoli win their game, their first home opener against Cagliari, 1-0, with a late goal coming from none other than Frank Zambo Anguissa. Absolute monster that game. Nail biting to literally the last minute, but we convert, Rafa. We take the 3 points at home and we keep it moving.
We keep it moving. You know, that was a nail biter. Let's not be confused here, right? That was a very stressful match. Very frustrating at times. We came close a lot, especially towards the end. We didn't create a lot of chances in the first half, but I think we had a very fluid first half until we got to about the final third. Maybe, you know, a lot of the, like I said, chances were not there. Crosses weren't as crisp, you know, but we controlled that whole first half. Cagliari sat back. You know, we controlled the tempo. We controlled the pace. We had very good crisp passing. It was really nice to see some of the movement around the field. It's just that when we got to the final third, we were missing something. And that was definitely evident. So that was the first half. Second half, come out maybe just a little more flat than the first half. Didn't really get things going until the substitutions that we made, right? We put we finally put Buongiorno in. He got his debut in the season. We saw Noah Lang. We saw Oliveira come in for a minute, I believe, a few minutes. But yeah, the difference was there when I feel like Noah Lang came in to help out because Politano was all over the place in the whole game. So felt like it gave us a little bit of a new spark. And I got to say, man, that goal by Anguissa was just, you know, I see a lot of people online sort of like criticizing the way we celebrated that. You know, and Grella was one of them on CBS. And, you know, I promised myself I wouldn't call a lot of people out today because I have gripes with a lot of people. But I'm calling Mike Grella out. Mike Grella saying that Napoli don't play beautiful football. It's like, who cares? We played a beautiful first half. We played an uglier second half. And who won the game? Who cares? And also criticizing the way we celebrated that goal. You tell me if Mike Grella wasn't on the pitch for that game or for any game that he's ever been in, and there was a last-minute goal, I don't care what kind of quality you are. I don't care what kind of where you are in the pantheon of football, right? Like Napoli are here and Cagliari are here. It's not like we beat Barcelona at the buzzer. No, but it was a very frustrating game that we finally broke through the defense that was giving us a hard time. Of course you want to celebrate it. I mean, the fans felt it too. Like Mike Grella is probably the only person on earth that didn't feel the emotion of that, because Napoli fans felt that at the Maradona. I felt it where I was sitting. And, you know, it did feel like it was a scudetto clincher. You know what I mean? I know it was the second game of the season. I realize it's early and I realize it's Cagliari, but I mean, we could have walked away with less points than we did. And instead, we're top of the league. So, yeah.
Well, I don't understand why celebrating a goal to win a game in the dying minutes is like a bad thing. As far as beautiful soccer goes, I mean, who had a beautiful game this weekend? I mean, Udinese beat
Udinese got
Inter.
Inter embarrassed by Udinese.
Right. Atalanta
Okay.
tied. Roma only won 1-0 against Pisa. Bologna embarrassed Como after Como was like, the shit last week. Juve only won 1-0 against Genova. I mean, it was low-scoring games throughout the league. I mean, what was beautiful this weekend? Please tell me. I mean, at the end of the day, Napoli got the job done. That's all that matters. That's all that matters is 3 points. And I think, yeah, we want to see some type of show to be put out there, but what better than a game-winning clincher with 1 minute left at home?
10 seconds left. Never mind 1 minute. The game was 10 seconds from being whistled. If that ball doesn't go in and it gets cleared out, the whistle blows and the game's over and it's a 0-0. Right. He scored the game-winning goal in the dying embers of the game. And mind you, Anguissa had a really good game too.
Yes.
And was in it the whole game. It's not like he was even a sub. He was there for the 95 minutes trying to get through this Cagliari defense. So I have no problem with how they celebrated this goal. And you know what? I think people that make fun or judge other fan bases or other teams of how they celebrate their wins and goals because it's only the second game of the season. It's only Cagliari. I don't think it matters to any of those players when it is or who it is. You play in a game like that, you get in a goal like that. I mean, yeah, when you take a step back and look at it like in the look at the broad view of it after the game is over, then yeah, you can sit here and analyze 2 days later, Ralph, right? Okay, right. Yeah, it was a tough game to watch at some point, and it was frustrating, and it was pull your hair out, and this is how it is to be a Napoli fan. But in that moment, as you're living it, you tell me how. The only person I saw that maybe like celebrated the goal but didn't like overwhelmingly go crazy was Dan Bowen. When I saw him on I guess him and Mario were doing a live watch along, right? Yeah. And this, Mario goes crazy, but Dan is like, yeah, and then sits down and is like just
right.
The relieved. Yeah, relieved. That's how I felt when Lukaku scored the second goal in the game against Cagliari last year to clinch scudetto, right? The relief that, like, I celebrated it, but it was more relief, right?
Sure.
But he's probably the only person that I've seen with a live reaction that didn't lose his mind. I mean, I wish I taped myself. I was running in and out of the shop. I had this, those tennis racket bug zappers?
Yeah,
I had one in my hand because we had the doors open. It was beautiful in here. The bees were coming in. So I'm like, not that I want to kill the bees, but like, don't come in my shop. You're don't trespassing at this point. No, it's mostly for the flies, but I think we have a nest. Anyway, the point is I had it in my hand. I'm clutching it in my hand. And when we scored, I jumped up with this thing on and I just started like hitting my station with it. Obviously, I didn't have a client in it, but I started hitting my station with the swatter. I ran outside. I pumped my fists. I ran back in. The other guys watching came over to me and started hugging. Like it was, dude. It's not like it was just it was like the 16th minute or the like okay, I get it's the second game of the year. I get it's early and I get it's Cagliari, but come on, how could you be that emotionless to think that a team shouldn't celebrate in that way, no matter when the game is, where you are in the standings, or what the circumstances are on the table? You could have it could be a mid-table team against a relegation team in the middle of the season that have almost nothing to play for. Even if it was like one of the last few games of the season, right, Ralph? Where everybody's on the fucking beach, right? Say you got an 11th versus 13th and there's nothing, no Europe, no promotion. It's the final game of the season. And there's a game like that where it's feisty, it's fiery, and there's, nothing to play for, but you get that goal in the 95th minute with 10 seconds left. You're going to tell me there's nothing to celebrate there at home, mind you, at home
Right.
in front of your fans, which is packed for the first game of the season.
Yeah. Which, by the
That
way,
is-
the presence there of the crowd was absolutely amazing.
That's what I'm saying. I was just going to say that is right.
I mean, it was
They're
hype.
they're still singing, Ralph. You're right. They're still singing for the team. You know, Napoletano vero. Oh, right. It's 0-0 in the 92nd minute, and we're trying to penetrate. It's not working, but they're still singing like that, man. We're looking at tying the Cagliari. Here we go, more drop points against smaller teams, but they're still encouraging the team. They're still singing. They're still alive. I did see the video of a couple guys that walked away, that walked out of the Maradona before the goal. Never. I mean, they live. When you live there, it's different, I guess.
They were trying to avoid traffic, probably.
I would never, man. I mean, that's me. I would never.
Raff, listen, despite the win, because at the end of the day, when you get to 3 points, you kind of justify the performance that you saw. I think we shouldn't take away from what Cagliari did defensively. It even surprised Conte. If you heard Conte in the press conference, he even said, had they not scored and the game ended in a draw, he would have been satisfied. Right. Obviously, much more satisfied with a win, much more happier with a win, but he would have been satisfied because Napoli really did dominate, at least possession-wise, the game for most of it. I mean, Cagliari just didn't have much as far as chances go. And Napoli just continued to put the pressure on. Some would say that it was a surprise that Cagliari didn't move forward. They were just in their defensive shell. It's really hard to get anything going when there's like 8 defenders in the box. Look at that box. I mean, Caprile had so much in front of him. He had crowds of people. Even during that goal, he didn't see it. I mean, that low cross came through all these, about 10 people, if not more, and just happened to get
pass too by Buongiorno, huh?
Right. But it just happened to get to Anguissa, and Anguissa with a little flicker. Caprile really did not see that until the last moment. So, yeah, it was luck. But Rafa, I will say this, I really wasn't satisfied as far as Napoli's service, especially during the first 20 minutes. I mean, I think we botched almost every cross, every set piece, to the point, I mean, I even saw Kevin De Bruyne on that one set piece he had. He kind of shot it low right into a Cagliari defender, and then it turned into almost a counterattack, which De Bruyne got into the end of it and was able to get possession again. He passed the ball out. I believe it was to Juan Jesus, just to create some space. But you saw he kind of like jerked with his arm, and he made a motion of some type of frustration. He knew he was making mistakes. All the crosses just getting blocked. The aerial duels by Cagliari being won. There wasn't much going for us for a little while. It really was frustrating to see. And I kind of get some people's frustration. I kind of get some of the criticism because as much as we did a win, I mean, it was a little luck, and we need a little bit of luck. God knows last year how much luck we needed, and it, for some reason, was endless and didn't run out. But we're starting to see it already again. So I wasn't completely satisfied, especially with the first 20, 25 minutes of the game. I was a little underwhelmed with Napoli's service, especially during the crosses. And we just didn't see anything connecting well to give us a good chance. So I can understand some people's frustration, and maybe some of that goes even into like Luka's performance, because I know there's been some criticism out there. People are being underwhelmed by him. People are just not completely satisfied. But we all know this guy. I mean, he wasn't supposed to be the starter, at least not yet. No. And with Lukaku's injury, we had no choice. He had to get used, but he wasn't quite ready yet. We took him off the grill a little too soon. He's still a little undercooked. But I would like to get your view on, because there was some opinions in the Discord, Rafa, about Luka. Some people defending him, some people kind of going against him. But if you can just give me a quick, overview of what you felt about him, and then maybe I can respond to it a little bit. Like, how did you feel about Luka?
Well, I mean, I wasn't overwhelmed by his play. Let's not put it that. Let's not mistake what I'm about to say for that. But I think that he will get to do his job at some point. I think that 2 weeks ago there was a question, or last week there was a question. Whenever we did the show, no, it might have been 2 weeks ago when Lukaku got injured.
Right.
The question was, what's the change of my prediction and how far up Schitt's Creek are we without Lukaku?
Mm-hmm.
And I took that as, okay, under the provision that we don't get a replacement, are we good with Luka? And this was probably right around the time Raspadori and Simeone left. And I said, I think we're still fine, because we've added in so many other areas that worked for us last year that this year will work for us too. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, that's what I said. I said, we're still the best team in the league. And so far, I'm not wrong. We neither did Juventus, Roma, and one other team not give up a goal yet. Right? Maybe just the three of us now, because Inter lost the way they lost. Right? But we are top of the league. We're 6 points from 6. No goals given up. Okay, this was a tough one. But at the end of the day, when you look back and you say, oh, well, okay, Napoli without Lukaku, with Luka playing, we won both games.
Yeah.
Bottom line, we won both games.
Yeah.
Now, I also said it's silly to think that Luka's not going to be replaced, or not replaced, but Lukaku, someone's not going to come in to replace Lukaku for these first 3 months or add to what we need. And I said I wanted it to be Hojlund. And as of 20 minutes ago, Aurelio De Laurentiis officially tweeted Benvenuto Rasmus. So this is a done deal for sure. Napoli Mercato, sure. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Okay. But as far as Luka is concerned, he has all the time in the world to develop into what Conte needs him to be. He was not ready to this injury. It's not like this injury happened before the season started. It's not like this injury happened like at the start of Di Matteo. It's not like this injury happened, before everybody got back together again for the summer. This happened 1 week before our first game of the season. So that gave Luka 1 week to get ready to lead a championship squad. And in my opinion, didn't have a terrible game in the first game, but also didn't have a great game in this game. But there's nothing to worry about, because now he gets to play the role he was supposed to play, which is back up to Rasmus Hojlund. Now Hojlund is going to start.
Sure.
Right? Okay. So what's the problem? What's the problem? There's no problem here. Luka's still going to get the time that he needs to develop, while we have somebody that's capable like Hojlund, who can take care of what we need to take care of while Lukaku's gone. And then Lukaku comes back, and bang, we have a 6-month in Luka that hopefully got better. We got a Hojlund that at that point will have integrated well with the squad, and Lukaku who knows what to do. So right. Absolutely nothing is wrong, in my opinion. So I don't know where all of the negativity is coming from. I get it. Everybody's afraid that if this is the Luka that plays all season long, blah, 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 blah. But everybody was freaking out for no reason. It was silly to not think that Napoli was not going to make a move for either Hojlund or Dovbyk or Lookman or someone. And the move is made with 10 minutes left of Mercato to go, actually, since it's 10 minutes to 2.
What's great is, we're going to, I'm excited to see Hojlund. I want to see what he's going to bring to the team, because that striker role right now is looking a little flat. I think Luka is doing his best to try to do that hold-up game that Lukaku's done, but he's just not as good at it
But
That's okay.
and that's
And
the thing, right? Like, can you really criticize Luka for not being as good as Lukaku is with the position? You know, Luka's younger, Lukaku's older, more experience, experience with Conte. You know what I mean? How could you give Luka such a bad like grade so far? You know, like that's my thing is yeah, he's not as good as at the hold up, but last week he put himself in position for McTominay to score the goal he did. He's still, like you said, a
Rafa,
presence in that box.
He's out there putting screens on people for McTominay to run in to accept these crosses.
Exactly.
Like, he's just this big body getting in the way of everybody. But I mean, some of his touches were a bit underwhelming. Some of his positioning seems like there was some uncertainty there.
Yep, there was.
He did have some
I'm not saying there wasn't. There was.
We saw some quick backflips. I think he was trying. But it seems like he just needs to build that confidence, that reassurance, and maybe get that one goal just to kind of break the ice, just to kind of get the monkey off his back, and then maybe see some things. But I'm still going to reserve. Conte does know that because he said it. Like we got.
Well, and he wouldn't have subbed him out to give Ambrosino his Serie A debut.
What do you mean?
Well, he wouldn't have subbed out Luka if he wasn't playing well to give Ambrosino his Serie A debut.
Right.
Ambrosino came in for Luka.
No, I know.
But in a match where and I get it again, it's early in the season, I know, but in a match where it's 0-0, you're looking for a goal. You know, you have the only option you have is this kid that never played in Serie A before. Yeah. Luka's not playing well. Let's take him out. Let's put that's what I'm saying though. But remember, play the kids, right? Yeah. This is what's happening.
Well, here's the other deal, Rafa. As far as how we're lining up and who are the people out there, like until Noah Lang came in later in the second half, really nothing coming in from the left. Well, with the exception of maybe Spinazzola, who definitely had a great game, who definitely tried to create some chances. But other than him, there was none of that real wing presence other than Politano. Other than Politano on the right, there's really not much being developed towards the left. It keeps cut into the middle. Yeah. But we didn't see any other that creativity, speed, a little bit of that dynamic ability
on the left.
We saw until we saw Noah Lang come into the game.
But it was in the first game too. It was the same thing almost. I think Oliveira made a little bit more of an impact in the first game than Spinazzola did. Spinazzola played well, but in both games there wasn't much from the left until Noah Lang came in.
Right.
Now, let me ask you this: because I don't know. I didn't see this. I don't know. I'm asking you if you know. Mm-hmm. What was the reason why he went with Spinazzola instead of Oliveira? That was the only change he made from last weekend.
It's a good question. I don't know. Is my
short why answer. Make one change and why was that the change? That I mean, maybe because last week there wasn't a lot of movement from the left. This week he may be trying to see if Spinazzola is a little better forward.
I'll say this much. It's in my opinion, I think Spinazzola is a better crosser than Oliveira. At least he does it more. At the very least, he does it more often. Now, Conte was surprised that Cagliari was playing so defensively. He said it in his press conference. But at the same time, maybe this was an opportunity to try to get some crosses into the box where it can kind of land onto Luka for quite possibly a header. Like to take advantage of some of this height that we had.
Right.
Put in Spinazzola. Spinazzola is a known crosser. He's probably one of the best crossers on the team right now. That's my only guess. I think Oliveira is more of a person who'll keep the ball on the ground, who'll run towards the middle, who'll do a little bit more of that tiki-taki, whereas Spinazzola, he'll go one-to-one with a defender, juke him a little bit, and try to cross the ball. So was it the crossing that we wanted to see more of? Maybe, because that's the only thing I can think of as far as why he would make that one switch. as soon as we got towards the end of the game, we saw that this crossing wasn't working. Cagliari was doing real well with all the aerial duels. So let's try to keep the ball on the ground and create a little bit more movement. We saw that, and it paid off dividends at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, granted, I don't know how much Oliveira was involved in that goal, really. It was a ball that kind of was cleared out by a Cagliari defenseman, went to Lobotka. Lobotka saw Buongiorno on the left, funny enough, with a quick low cross that eventually got to Anguissa and we scored. But to me, that whole left side, it wasn't as dynamic, at least for a game and a half or a game and 2/3, if you will, or until we saw Noah Lang. So I want to see more of that. I think we're lacking in that department. And I would like to see Noah Lang. Neres was hurt. So, he was left out of the squad. So we couldn't see him come in, trying to make an impact, whether it be on the right or the left. So Noah Lang got this call. But I think Conte has to kind of reassess just a little bit and make sure that there's more of a presence on both sides of the wings, as opposed to only Politano and then only going into the middle when it comes down to the rest of the field. So that's what I want to see. So more left wing presence is what I want.
Yeah, I agree.
And I got a bit of a question for you, Rafa. And I really wanted to stir up some shit with this episode. And as I was doing last night, because I couldn't really watch the game live in its entirety. I was in transit. I had to go to work. So last night when I got home, I sat down and I did the Napoli Senza Volume, and I rewatched the game, and I was able to get a better grip on what was going on. And I just noticed something, and I had to ask. And again, for all your listeners out there, feel free to comment on these things. And if you're in a Napoli rant, feel free to start this discussion. But should Lobotka and De Bruyne be playing at the same time? That's my question.
That is a good question.
Is there a bit of redundancy in the midfield right now when both of them play? Now, both of them are very capable, and when they're both on, certainly things happen, but I feel a little bit of redundancy when they're both on the field. I mean, they're almost sitting next to each other. They do the same thing. They're kind of like an assist man, right? They're both kind of setting things up. Granted, last game against Cagliari, I believe De Bruyne was very vocal. He was very vocal on the field. He's definitely making his presence felt. And he's kind of like, it almost looks like as if he's like Lobotka's big brother that came onto the team and is playing with him in midfield and trying to like school him a little bit. And I'm not saying there's any issues there. I just don't know if it's redundancy and they're clashing a little bit. Because as soon as De Bruyne came out, and then we had Lang and Ambrosino in there was more people kind of running forward. Whereas Lobotka got to sit back, as opposed to having two defensemen kind of sitting back most of the time. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, especially when you have, McTominay and Anguissa on the pitch at the same time, right? Where everybody's cutting into the middle. Everybody's trying to do a little bit of attacking. Everybody's kind of playing each other's roles. I think I see it as an opportunity. So where if Lobotka could take the forward run, that De Bruyne could sit back a little bit while he runs and then cover if the ball's lost or if he's got to track back or whatever. Sure. But I honestly, I'm not picking up what you saw yesterday about the redundancy in the midfield. I have to go back and look again.
Take a look.
I did not watch it again. I did not watch the game again, put it that way. I saw the whole game, but I didn't watch it again. So I'd like to go back and look at it and study that, because if you may have a point where does this formation work the best, this 4-1-4-1, now, especially now that we have Rasmus Hojlund in, and we have, a little bit of what we've seen from Noah Lang. Does he go back to the 4-3-3? does he go back to the 4-2-3-1, whatever, however you want to call it, right? And does he put more focus on the wings getting the ball to Hojlund?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean it's a good question. I'd like to go back and see, but like I said, my idea of De Bruyne and Lobotka is for them to both kind of circle the pitch. You know what I'm saying? Never try to stay in the same spot. Now, I don't know. I don't know if that's what you saw, Ralph. I don't remember seeing if they were both in sort of the same spot. You know,
at times there was movement, of course. I mean, I like your comment about Lobotka running up.
Because I saw yesterday, saw him run up a few times,
which created chances, which caused a little stir for the opposition, and I liked it. And if they're going to both be up there, one of them has to do that. Do that. De Bruyne had a good, energetic game. He was all over. He was running. He was helping defend. He really had a beastly performance. But I don't know. I'm just trying to think, like, is there redundancy? That's my question. And it's something that we have to see. Obviously, now, if Lang going to get more time, or maybe when Neres gets better again, or now that we have Hojlund, do these things start changing a little bit? Does the dynamic start changing a little bit? What are we going to see through that? So I'll reserve any of my opinion completely until we have the whole squad really complete. Now there's going to be Elmas in the mix somewhere. But
Elmas is back.
Elmas is back.
I love it.
I really think he represent. I knew, like, once Elmas, was getting bought, that we probably weren't going to go for another signing after that, because that guy can really play in a lot of different positions. And I think the fact that we had to go out and spend now for another striker, that we had to find a way to save in these other positions. And I think Elmas was the answer to that, because he's so versatile. Again, not a superstar. He's not a superstar, guys, and I know that, but he's versatile, and he can be anywhere on the pitch. And I think when you're gonna need to fill in a role, whether it be through injury, fatigue, or whatever, Elmas is that guy that he's a jolly. He'll play anywhere, and he'll do it with a smile on his face, and that's the good thing about him.
The Macedonian Messi.
That's it. But I'm curious how Lobotka and De Bruyne are gonna fare out. I'm curious. Now with Hojlund, what's gonna happen with Luka? Is Ambrosino gonna have more time? I mean, he almost had a quick chance.
He's staying on the team. He's gonna be on the roster. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. And Noah Lang almost getting a chance right in the beginning. There was a bad back pass by the Cagliari center backs that Noah Lang was able to get a shot off. It's like immediate impact right when these guys are on the field. So I really would like for them to get some more time and to start making our wings a little bit more threatening for teams, as opposed to just keep playing in the middle, We're going to need that. But now with Hojlund coming, I have a feeling that, we're going to see a lot of that. But we need to award a beast, Rafa, don't we?
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Oh, man. So it's beast of the match. There was a lot of votes in the Discord, in the Napoli Rant Discord, and it was for the same player, and it was a great call by all of our members in there.
The ranters
by the ranters in the Napoli Rant. It's a good name for them.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Ali came up with that. I'd be remiss if I didn't say Ali came
Shout out to Ali.
Yeah, but if she listens to this, which sometimes she does and sometimes she doesn't, if she listens to it and doesn't hear me say that was Ali's,
she's gonna get. No, I don't want you getting.
She's gonna be like, "Yeah, nice name, right? Nice name that I came up with."
Thanks. All right. Hashtag general manager. Thank you to Ali. That's all. But we ultimately, when we came on into the studio here, I was like, Rafa, who's your beast? And he said it, and I was like, I thought the same thing. Especially after the rewatch, I was like, God damn. I was like, I gotta give it to him. So yeah. So let's tell the world.
Let's reveal it. Let's reveal the beast of the match.
Match day 2. Beast of the match. E per Napoli, la bestia, della gara con il numero 21 Matteo Politano. That's right, you heard right, fellas and bellas. Matteo Politano, beast of the match for Napoli Cagliari. There were so many to choose from. Spinazzola was the big name out in the Napoli Discord, who definitely had a great game. Zambo Anguissa, I mean, could have easily bagged this. And we would have ended up with a player of the match, second in a row, winning the Beast, which is something that we don't normally do, but it could happen. But as I rewatched the game and I watched Matteo Politano, this guy, all right, a couple chances, a couple kicks that he had or shots that went over the net, fine. A few crosses that didn't quite hit the target, but his chances were there nonetheless. His effort was undeniable. I mean, chasing people down on counterattacks to stop it, going up and down the field, assisting the defense. The only real presence on the wings, left or right, for the past 2 games, leaves nothing on the field, leaves nothing. So much so that, Rafa, you even said that during that one of those corner kicks, he didn't even have enough to take the damn kick.
He didn't have enough. He called Lang over.
He called Lang over to do it.
He could tell. He knew he didn't have enough. So the presence of mind to know, hey, I'm not taking this corner. I'm exhausted. You come over here and take it. You know, just that's how much energy he expends, you know, in a match. And he came close so many times. There was that one shot that he took. It was the Tira Gira that he almost buried. It sailed just over the crossbar.
Yeah.
He's just everywhere. He's everywhere. He deserves the beast of the match. He was, I was looking at his rating on FootMob in 8.0. He created the most chances in the match with 4, and he completed the most dribbles with 2. But his hard work and presence it shines through, and it just is something that's pretty constant. Another shout for beast of the match, in my opinion, was Rahmani.
Oh, again, another one.
Listen to this.
He could have easily won. Yeah,
he could have easily won too. Because listen to this, dude. Completed the most passes, 114 passes. He was 114 of 121, and won the most duels in the match, 6. So, you know, listen, he's another one. Juan Jesus, most accurate passer to play 45 minutes or more. 83 of 83. He was 100% passing. The defense this year is just so solid, because then you take Juan Jesus out, he's got a yellow, right?
Mm-hmm.
You take him out in the 70th minute and you put in the guy that ends up friggin' assisting the goal, Buongiorno, right? Who comes in and makes an impact right away on the left wing. Exactly. So there's a lot to be very excited about with this team this season. But like I said, constants are Politano and Rahmani for me.
Without a doubt.
Like I mean, I guess you could say Lobotka as well, but I mean, obviously you could say Lobotka as well, but if I'm looking at 2 players, it's those 2 that are just consistently their numbers are good. Their performance never kind of wavers. You know what I mean? Politano could take a couple bad shots here and there. Politano could make a few, sometimes hold the ball a little too much, but it's a constant. His energy and his providing the team is constant, and so is Rahmani's solidity back in the back. So
I'm surprised Rahmani doesn't have a goal yet. He
will.
Coming. He's coming.
He will. He's good for about 3 or 4 goals a season, I would say.
Oh yeah,
right? 2 or 3 goals.
He's been a threat in front of the net during these set pieces, and it's only a matter of time this year. I think he's gonna have one of his best seasons, Rahmani, this season. I feel
agree.
it. I think he's super confident. I think his position is not under threat despite any of these signings. He's gonna get his breaks. We're gonna have other center backs start over him at times, probably during Copa matches, especially. But in my
I feel like
opinion,
it's going to be Rachmani and
exactly, it's going to be
Right?
Rachmani and for the rest of the season, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Same thing. Politano, he's going to own that right side. And that's just the way it is. That's, like it or not, that's what's going to happen. These guys are consistent, they're reliable, and they leave everything on the field. And I'm excited to watch them play.
And they're off to their national teams now. We get a break.
Yeah,
already.
We had a break. It kind of sucks that
it sucks a lot. As much as I'm looking forward to the World Cup and to watching Italy play, obviously, because I'm a very big Italy fan, I hate that it's the first two. I hate that the season starts and the Mercato is still going on, and then the Mercato ends, but they now have to go on break. So, like, Hojlund is wrapped up, but now he goes over to play with, his national team. So what if he gets hurt in the national team, right?
Oh, my God. Don't say it. Don't put it out there.
Already, though, knock on wood, right?
That's going to be
already
disaster.
like why can't FIFA come up with a better time for this break? I don't know if it was publicly or not, but I had made a suggestion once, make the breaks a little longer instead of more frequent. Like instead of doing a break at the beginning of September, right when the season starts, do 3 weeks at the middle to end of September, and then another 3 weeks middle to end October. It's this way, like you don't even have to do one in November. You're making up. I don't know, man. It's just whatever. It is what it is. It's whatever. I get it that they have to get these qualifiers in, but it's just at the shittiest time, man. Because we're in such a I worry about that all the time. And I know in the last couple seasons it hasn't really been much of a factor because we've been doing pretty well at the beginning of every season, but it always kind of like pisses me off at this point in time because we get the momentum going and then, now we got to split.
Yeah.
Other
things in the news, Rafa, the new Centro Sportiva in
Sucevo,
which is a province of Caserta. We saw ADL send a tweet with la prima pietra, right?
La prima pietra, yeah.
The first stone for breaking ground for this new facility. I mean, super exciting. This is something that we've all been waiting for a long time.
I'm happy it's done. I'm happy it's done, and I'm happy, obviously, they're not done building it. They just started today. They just signed today, but the with the Mercato ending the way it is, and the new Centro Sportiva coming in the same and that's another thing that's pretty impressive. This is coming in the same transfer market, not just window market. So it's pretty awesome how, because everybody's worried about the money it's going to cost to build the Centro Sportiva, this and that, but definitely 100% just good things happening for Napoli all over the place.
Agreed.
And I know you. I know the message you just sent me in private, but I'm gonna override it for just a moment. I want to at least we can expand next week, and that's what we'll do, guys. We'll expand next week. But we would be remiss if we didn't bring up the Champions League league phase. We'll go deeper in next week since we don't have a match. We'll go deeper in. We'll do maybe a little Italy roundup for Napoli players or national team Napoli player stuff, and go deeper in. But Napoli's Champions League league phase was set, and I honestly, Ralph, really quick, I think it was a pretty favorable one. I wasn't very worried. I was more. There were other teams I was worried about. Let's just say. What are your thoughts?
I'm feeling the same. Obviously we have Man City up there. It's going to be a Chelsea. These are all even the teams that are not as big per se, any one of those teams could come onto the field and give you a performance at any moment. You know, we have a team with a big handful of new players, people that need to continue to work and get better. My first thoughts is, I mean, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We haven't seen Conte with Napoli in Europe yet. You know, he only had one game a week last year. So I'm curious to see how he is going to manage all this season. Again, we'll probably get more in depth next week about all this, but my first thoughts is I mean, I'm confident in the team, but I want to see how this whole striker situation is going to fare out, what we're going to do with our wings and how we're going to play all that and how Conte is going to put it together. I need at least another game or so in the Campionato. I think we get one, right? The first game is the end of September, Rafa, for the Champions League?
For the Champions League is right as soon as we come back, actually. It's going to be Thursday, September 18th against Man City in Manchester. We're gonna
get that one game with Fiorentina before that. You know, 5 days before.
That's our next game, right? Is Fiorentina?
That's our next game. It's going to be on the September 13th, so it's five days before the Champions League match. So Conte is going to have one game to try to tweak some things, and then I think going up against Man City is going to be a challenge, regardless. De Bruyne obviously is going to go back to see his old team. So I'm curious to see how he's going to perform. I'm certain he's going to get a start. I'm curious to see what type of rotation Conte is going to do next. I think this is it now. Like you have the guys you want. Now you have Fiorentina. 5 days later, you have Man City. How does Conte start this team? How does he play it? I wonder if giving Ambrosino, Vergara, all these guys a chance means, you know, do they get to see the field because next game they're going to see a little bit more of the pitch? They're going to get a little bit more time, maybe. Does Hojlund start? Does he come off the bench? Is he going to be game ready next game? I don't know. You know, will Conte give him a few minutes, maybe in the second half or maybe in the first half, just to get him going? Maybe for 45 minutes and then sit him and then maybe start him in Champions League. So I'm gonna hold off some of my opinion maybe until next week. I want to do a little more research, and then I'd like to see how they do against Fiorentina and how Conte is going to play this, and I can get a better understanding of what we may see against Man City, because it's going to be a hard game for sure.
And it's a rare Thursday Champions League game. That's the only week. The week one is the only week where they're having Thursday Champions League games, and I'm not 100% sure why that is. But
nonetheless, it's also an away game too.
So. It's an away game, and it's in Manchester. We've been there before, you know. But we're also looking at the fact that they have an injured. I think one of their new signings was injured, and they're not playing very well. They lost 2 games out of 3 in the season. Mm-hmm. So we're catching Man City at not a bad time, honestly. But yeah, really quick. And next week we'll go more in depth. I would really like to, but we start on the road with Man City, and then it's home to Sporting, away to PSV Eindhoven, home against Frankfurt, home to Karabag, and then away to Benfica and away to Copenhagen. We end home against Chelsea. So we finish the Champions League stage at home against Chelsea.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be some redemption,
which is fun. Is a lot of fun. Yeah, that's the day where everyone plays at the same time. That's the round 8 that we all loved from this past season. Napoli Chelsea finishes the Champions League. But I honestly, I think it was a good draw. I think we got away with a good. You know, there's a lot of teams I was hoping to avoid. PSG being one of them, Barcelona being another. And I think we fared pretty well. I think we fared well when it comes to the draw. We'll go more into it next week. We'll also talk about the Napolitani in their national teams. Hojlund. Now we have to look at the Hojlund score and the Hojlund news and see how that's going. But yeah, this is. Hey, how'd you do on your prediction?
Oh, what? I got Anguissa, right? So I get a point there.
You got Anguissa. So
we
you said 3-0
match result, but way off on the score.
Way off on the score. You got the results to the 1 point, and then you got the second point from Anguissa. And I only got the 1 point because of the result. Didn't pick a goal scorer, which is fine by me. But so you now lead 6-5. 6-5. You had because we both had 4. We both had 4.
4 points. I got.
So you're up 6-5. Yes.
All right, 6-5. All right.
And we'll do the prediction. We'll do the next prediction next week because we have a whole 2 weeks left. So.
Yeah, let's see. Make sure everybody gets back healthy.
Right?
Yeah,
you said that's Fiorentina.
Yeah. So we got 2 games on the road coming up for Napoli, which I don't mind. I think we play well on the road. So I think we'll be okay. But I want to reserve any predictions until everybody gets back healthy, safe, and sound, and then we'll take it from there. But I kind of have an idea in my head.
Yeah,
I kind of
Saturday,
more or less know.
Okay. Saturday the 13th on the road against Fiorentina. Thursday the 18th on the road against Manchester City. And then Sunday the 21st at home against Pisa.
See, this is where rotation is going to come into play. We're gonna. I hope to see it this week. You have not to knock Pisa, but I think that's a game where you can create some type of rotation and give some other players some more time because he's going to start his top guys against Man City without a doubt. Man City is going to be a priority. Fiorentina is going to be a little bit of movement. And I think Pisa is going to be where we may see some of these starters rest and get a little bit more time for some other players. So that's my prediction, at least for these next upcoming 3 games.
Right, because after Pisa is in exactly a week after that is on the road to Milan.
Big.
Yeah, you're right, man. Milan, Sporting, Genoa. Then Torino, Eindhoven, Inter. Then you got Como, Frankfurt, Bologna. Then you got Atalanta, Karabakh, Roma, Coppa Italia, Juve. Oh man, there you go. There's a cluster right there. November, ready for November. Home to Como, home to Frankfurt, away to Bologna, home to Atalanta, home to Karabakh, away to Roma, away at whoever it is, either Frosinone or Cagliari in the Coppa Italia, and then home to Juventus, away to Benfica.
Man.
Away to Udinese, and then the Supercoppa in friggin' Riyadh against Milan.
Definitely getting our money's worth, man, these next couple months.
Welcome back to Europa, right?
Yeah, right? Well, this is it. This is why we go out and splash what we splashed and got all the players.
But this is why we had a 10 out of 10 Mercato, Ralph.
We had to.
I mean, but look at the Mercato we had. I put it up against anybody in the world this year.
Well, now it's up to Conte to figure it out, put it all together, and make this work for the team and for the president who bought all these players for him. Mana going to work. Excellent job all around by everybody. This is what we want to see because we want to see top to bottom, everybody on the same page with the same goals in mind so Napoli can achieve something. This is what everybody
asked for. This is what everybody asked for. This is what they asked for. We asked for.
We got what
they
we
wanted.
Asked
the
for.
big names. They wanted the big names. They wanted the moves that make sense. They wanted the depth. They wanted the spend. They wanted the this. They wanted the that. Don't want to hear anything about ADL anymore. I'm done with the ADL talk. Finish with it. Got the Centro Sportivo we need. Next year is 100 years.
Man.
2 Scudetti.
He's setting something else for the 100-year anniversary. He wants to, if he's a showman, he wants it to be big.
No, there's no way he's not doing something for this thing.
So
there's no.
But it's all going to come together. It's not just the show. It's everything that's going to be built.
It's everything
around the team, and him even investing in some of these younger players. We'll get into that maybe next week as well. But I have a feeling he's setting himself up for the next step. I think it's coming up soon. It's coming up real soon. And it's what we've been waiting for and asking for, Rafa, just like you said. So hold on tight, Tifosi. Hold on tight, because here it comes. Rafa, excellent show as always.
Good show, Biz. Thank you very much.
For those of you who made it to the end here, thanks for listening. Be sure, again, to come into our Napoli Rant Discord. You can find our links on our socials, especially on Twitter. DM us if you need an invite. We're happy to provide that for you. Don't forget about the project, cncusa.org, where you can list all your club meets, and it's working because people are reaching out. They're asking me, hey, is there a club here? Is there a club there? Guys, it's working. Take advantage of it. It's a tool. Email me. There's a contact form in the website. Try it out. Don't be shy. Hit me up, and I'm willing to help.
And I'd like to say this. Nobody on the CNC USA website thinks anybody else is cheap imitation.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody on that site is equal. We're all equally supporters of Napoli. We all want to grow this brand in this country. There's not one central and then everybody else is imitations. We're all alike. And the minute this certain club realizes that is the minute I will start endorsing them again. But from now on, we'll not endorse them again. And
if
that's
you
all
know,
I'm
you know,
say.
guys. If you know, you
That's all I'm
know. Get on your social. This is a Napoli rant, except no imitations here either.
Ralph, come on, accept no imitations.
Shout out to all of our fratelli doing your thing, content creators out there. You know who you are. We're all in this together, and I love each and every one of you. And to every club out there, keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. I don't care if it's just two of you out there in some state. Keep it moving, because all you need is two.
Exactly.
All you need is two to be a club. So shout out. Look at San Diego already growing, already getting there.
Yeah, San Diego was at the Maradona, weren't they?
Come on, man. Florida, look out, Florida. Something big is going on in that state right now. You don't even know. You don't even know what's coming. You don't even know. I still haven't really revealed the big news yet because it's still in the works, but there's something brewing outside of this country right now that's going to be huge. Hopefully one day. There's so much going on, guys, and the mutual respect is 100% necessary in order to grow as a community. There's nobody here is bigger than anybody else, guys. We're all Napoli Tifosi. But
really quick before we go, please check out In the Shadow of Vesuvio, Henry Bell's interview with Jacob Peter, the very same Jacob Peter that we are sponsoring for his run on at the Neapolis marathon, right?
Yeah,
right.
I just ordered the kit today, Rafa.
Did you really?
Perfect. Your kit is on the way. Well, it's not on the way. It's gonna be
well. So
I'll show everybody soon. I'll put out something.
We'll post a picture. We'll post a picture on the socials, but also. Henry makes mention of his wonderful tattoos that he wants on display. So he mentioned raising a certain amount of money, and he'd wear only the pair of Speedos so that he could show off his tattoos. but I'm here to say he could leave the Speedos on if he'd like, but the kit on the top has to be worn as well. So
okay.
So sorry, Henry. I know you want to see Jacob Peter in the flesh as much as you want.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll be wearing he'll be wearing our top. But it was such a really cool interview. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I listened to it this morning on the way back from doing some errands. It's a 20-minute video audio. Listen to it. It's a pretty cool way how he became a Napoli fan as well. But yeah, I figured we'd bring that up since we're endorsing him too. So.
Definitely. And who knows, we might even hear from him on this show as well.
Hey, that'd be great.
I pitched it to him. Again, we want to support him because I really love all this stuff that we do, these marathons, these charities that we're running for. I think it's a big deal and it needs more attention and it needs to garner more support from the community. We need to push people to help them do these things more, Rafa, because that's part of one of the missions with CNC that I wanted. Right now is step one to get these clubs together, Step 2 is to support each other and to take all of it to the next level and see what we can accomplish with this. So shout out to Jacob Peter.
Shout out to Jacob Peter. Do you know who I want on this show? Let me tell you who I want on this show.
Who's that?
I want you, Mike Grella. I want you on this show. Let's go. I'm inviting you to our show to talk to the Napoli fans, to tell us how you really feel. Okay? We don't have to endorse it. CBS doesn't have to endorse it. You can come on in like your friends have before, and you can air your grievances out on the Napoli rant with us. Come on this show. And
you got some explaining to do here.
You got something to say? Say it here.
Say it here. You want to rant?
Please.
Rant on the rant.
I beg you. I want 20 minutes with Mike Grella. That's what I want.
You've been summoned.
He's got a big problem with Napoli fans.
You've been summoned.
Let's go.
All right. Well, let's let it happen, guys. But until then, folks, Forza Napoli sempre.
Campioni d'Italia again.
Siamo noi.
Siamo noi.